There's one simple rule you need to follow. To become a millionaire, you need to think and act like a millionaire. You need to fully embody this mindset every single day until it leaves you no choice but to raise your standards and reach the next level. These are the top 5 millionaire skills I wish that I knew earlier, all in one place. What's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, if you're old here, my name is Nathan Nazareth. I'm a 21-year-old e-commerce entrepreneur based out of Vancouver, Canada, and I've scaled multiple e-commerce brands into the 6- and 7-figure revenue points. Today, I'm gonna be sharing some skills that I wish I knew earlier in my journey, and if I had, it would have skyrocketed my success at a much faster rate. Let me be clear. There are no shortcuts to making money. Money is not created by regular people. It's simply traded or exchanged for goods and services. The only true way to consistently amass money in the long run is by understanding markets, offers, and providing value. And I'll tell you a secret right now, the easiest way to provide this value is through high income skills. These are skills that can be leveraged because they're high in demand or they just pay exceptionally well. And unlike a job, these skills all have uncapped potential, meaning that they can technically make you infinite amounts of money if used correctly. Not to mention all the different revenue sources that you can set up for yourself using these skills instead of being stuck on a single salary. So let's get right into it. The first thing that you need to realize is your current financial position is a direct reflection of the decisions that you've made in your life up until this point. With every little action that you take, there's a ripple effect that is going to influence the future actions that you will take. This is known as the butterfly effect. It's when one little action is consistently taken over and over again that it eventually manifests itself into something far larger. And as much as this applies to both good habits and good skills, the same actually applies to bad habits and bad skills. So with that in the back of your head, the first millionaire skill is self-control. This is going to serve as the foundation and baseline for everything. It does not matter how smart, how competent, or how efficient you are if you can't consistently work day in and day out. Discipline is the building block for consistency. Even if you're improving just 1% every single day, at the end of the year, that would compound into a 37 times increase in whatever it is that you're working on. The mistake I see far too often is that people get this random 3 a.m. burst of motivation and decide they're gonna go 110% in on something, and then after one minor setback, they lose their whole drive and simply give up. And this is all because we need to habituate before we optimize. We need to first develop the actual action of staying consistent at whatever it is it may be, and then later we can come back and optimize and create a more efficient version of what we are currently doing. A great book that taught me a lot of principles just like this is called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now, disciplining yourself and having self-control does not mean that you have to wake up at 5 a.m. and take a freezing cold shower every single morning. Rather, you can start small and over the course of a few weeks, a few months, or even a few years, develop rock solid habits. When I was first getting into dropshipping, I faced a lot of setbacks and I lost thousands of dollars before I ever even saw a single penny. But if I were to quit or measure my progress solely based on financial metrics, instead of purely focusing on making progress and getting that 1% in every single day, then I can confidently say right now that I would not be anywhere near where I currently am. And in the macro aspect, becoming a millionaire might seem daunting, but if you break it up into smaller steps, you'll actually realize that you can sell 10,000 things for $100, 1,000 things for $1,000, or 100 things for $10,000. Sometimes when we only focus on the big goal, it can be overwhelming and we forget that it's a step-by-step process. So it all revolves around being able to hold yourself accountable and working little by little every single day on the task at hand. By slowly chipping away that 1% every single day, you are training your mind, whether you believe it or not, to become more disciplined and prioritize your long-term goals over your unfulfilling short-term pleasures. Like, bro, how do you expect to go out and make $1 million if you can't even get yourself in the gym or do something physically active for your own health every single day? There's a ton of overlap between other areas of your life and financial success and the ability to control yourself and to stay away from the donuts if you want to get a six-pack. You need to treat your mind like it's a muscle and exercise that thing every single day. What are you feeding your mind? Is it a constant stream of provocative TikToks or prank videos? Or is it videos like this one right here? I can't emphasize this point enough. I mean, there's actually declassified documents released by the United States government that talks about how the law of attraction is actually a real thing. And that's the perfect segue into the second millionaire skill that I wish I knew earlier, which is social media optimization. Whether you like it or not, this new way of living, this distracted way, is here to stay. So you can either fall victim to it and be constantly distracted, spending hours a day mindlessly scrolling and putting crap into your mental headspace that clouds your judgment, wastes your time, and paralyzes you from taking action on the activities that are going to bring you that long-term gratification. Or you can use social media as your secret weapon. It's so crazy. I mean, we literally have an entire generation of people laying on their phones, mindlessly scrolling TikTok for 10 hours a day, looking at content that isn't doing a single thing for them. Use this as your competitive advantage and be a part of the 1% that isn't distracted by unhealthy social media consumption, and you'll see just how easy it is to then start rising to the top in whatever you want to do. Now I'm going to literally give you guys the sauce on how I personally optimized my social media 2 short years ago and never looked back. So my big 3 vices were Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube. With Instagram, what I decided to do was unfollow every single person who I wasn't personally super close with. So if I wouldn't have a long conversation with them, if they weren't my family or close friends, gone. Follow that simple rule, your Instagram habits, they'll change right away. Second one, YouTube. Optimize your feed to show you only videos that are gonna help you, again, get to where you wanna be. If you have a goal of making $1 million, you can only be watching videos that are actually going to teach you something that you might need along the way to get to that $1 million, like this one right here. Another thing with that though is you don't want to fall down the rabbit hole of only learning and only consuming videos like this and never actually taking any action. So to combat that, I would literally unsubscribe to everybody. You can unsubscribe to me if you really want, and only subscribe to 10 to 15 people, okay? These are gonna be the people that you're gonna watch every single video of. You know, maybe it'll take 20 minutes a night, 30 minutes a night to get through, but these people are gonna get you to exactly where you need to be. And this is what I did and what I still currently do. Now with Snapchat, you don't wanna be wasting any time looking at stories and buzz feeds and all that crap that's just there to suck you into this void, okay? You wanna make a new account and you only wanna add your closest friends. For me, I've only personally used it for group chats and events and things like that. I probably spend 5 or 10 minutes max on it per day. Although Snapchat is becoming less and less prevalent, so at some point I'll probably just delete it altogether. Listen guys, it's literally that simple to flip the social media narrative on its head and actually start using it for massive personal gain. Now another broad but insanely important skill is stress management. I mentioned this earlier in this video, but people have this idea that once they reach millionaire status or make a lot of money, that their life is just magically so much more comfortable, easy, and they have way less problems to worry about. But in reality, not only do you have to deal with a lot more moving parts, set out constant fires, face taxes, deal with personal relationship issues, but you also need to protect your million as well. And this is why the ability to prioritize and recognize opportunities comes in handy. With inflation hitting absolute highs in human history, the days of simply stacking your bread in a savings account are long over. Things are getting more expensive and you need to have income generating assets that are going to work for you. And along with all this, a lot of times the more money you make, the more stress you'll be bringing into your life. But how do you expect to have a big life without big problems, right? And because you're going to start facing problems every single day, you need to train yourself to prioritize and stay focused. The human brain actually has around 6,000 thoughts per day. 6,000 thoughts. That's an astronomical number, and it's your job to filter through all the garbage and only focus on the thoughts that are actually getting you to where you need to be. So this is another one of those skills where you might be saying, Nathan, this is common sense. But I want you to actually think about it. Are you someone who is genuinely excited to go to work and start building? Or are you someone who tends to disguise their opportunities as stress? Now, another big part of prioritizing your life is finding the balance in your very unbalanced life. I see videos of going dark and grinding in silence and all these motivational videos about doing it alone. And I actually bought into this ideology for a while, and don't get me wrong, I made massive progress doing it. However, I eventually started to learn that life is a lot more about making connections rather than grinding alone in silence. You will never not benefit from making the right friends and building the right communities. And yes, although you can make massive progress solely working alone, like I experienced myself, there's also a famous quote that sums this up perfectly. If you want to go somewhere fast, go alone. If you want to go somewhere far, go together. So now that I've given you a solid foundation, the fourth millionaire skill is mastering sales and marketing. I mentioned earlier that high income skills are either ones that pay a lot or can be leveraged because they're high in demand. And sales is arguably the best skill because not only does it apply to so many different industries and so many different positions, but it also has uncapped earning potential. The better you perform, the more cars, the more homes, the more products you sell, the more you can earn. This is one of the few jobs that the amount you can earn directly correlates with your performance and the value add. The best part of sales is that when you actually learn the skill and you become quite good, you can then go on and start working for yourself. You can start dropshipping and marketing your products to the masses. You can start an agency and start servicing local businesses or clients. The list goes on. I want you to think about how sales impacts your daily life. We are constantly surrounded by thousands of advertisements on a daily basis. Companies will literally pay millions of dollars to run a Super Bowl commercial and place that ad right in front of your face. Think about how you market yourself every single day. Maybe you're going on a date with a cute girl. How are you presenting yourself? How are you speaking? What are you saying? That is all sales. Notice how we meticulously craft our resumes and put our best achievements and accomplishments at the top of the list. This is because literally everything in life correlates to presentation. How you present yourself, how you sell yourself. So I strongly encourage everyone right now to start diving in, start learning about sales in some form or another, start practicing and really hone your craft, because this is truly one of those skills that is not only going to make you a ton of money if done right, but it'll also help in every single aspect of your life. Now, the next millionaire skill is to build a team, a really damn good team. Look, there's only so much you can do. There's only so many dropshipping products you can test, stores that you can start, websites that you can build. But once you start to hire and delegate some of the responsibilities in your daily life or business tasks, something beautiful starts to happen, and it's called automation. Ask yourself if your business can run and continue growing if you detach yourself from it tomorrow. If the answer isn't a resounding yes, well, you're probably nowhere near making $1 million and you got some work to do. Because if you want to make $1 million fast, trust me, you're not going to be able to do it alone. Now, a solid trick for building a team is to hire based on performance. If you start to surround yourself with people who are smarter and more ambitious than you are, then you begin to feed off of that energy and all of you start to grow together. And the best way for you to keep people motivated and working for you at the absolute highest level for the long term is to not give them a basic weekly generic salary. Rather, align their goals with yours and work together for that common goal. Places you can find some of these people to hire are popular freelance websites such as Fiverr and Upwork. But be careful, I like to implement a trial period, see if the relationship works well, see if it's the type of person you want to work with, see if they have the necessary skills and competency before pursuing to work together on a contract or full-time. A great example of this was in the past 3 months, making the executive decision to start treating my social media a lot more like I would any other business. And I actually went out and hired a creative director, script writers, copywriters, thumbnail editors, video editors, and so on, so that I could further automate my workflow and start delivering more prolific quality output at an increased rate. And the important thing to remember here is time over money always. So the point is, and I can't stress this enough, you need a team. It also gives you the ability to pivot because every single member is going to bring something unique and a new skill set to the table. And this goes without saying, but I'll say it regardless. If you can't adapt to change, your business will crumble faster than you can imagine.
I was dying earlier today, and then I died. Now I'm dead.
Now, in addition to these 5 skills, I decided to include a secret bonus skill that pretty much nobody talks about. This skill literally ties everything together in business and will make or break the fact of you becoming a millionaire. And this skill is confidence. You'd be surprised how far this skill can take you in any aspect of your life. Look, if you are constantly positioning yourself as an expert in your field, you literally trick your mind into becoming that person. The brain has no way to differentiate whether an emotion is real or not. And the crazy part about that is that not only you can't tell the difference, but other people actually can't tell the difference between somebody who is confident and somebody who is acting confident. If you say it with enough conviction and you look absolutely certain of yourself, people will still believe you. I actually just emceed and spoke at my grandpa's celebration of life a couple weeks ago. And I know my public speaking skills aren't particularly polished, but in the days leading up, I continually tricked my brain into believing that I was the best and most confident person there to step up and take on this role. And I visualized just how successful the speech speech would go and just how good I would deliver it. And as you can imagine, I got great feedback and the celebration was a resounding success. Anyways, guys, if you made it this far into the video, I want you guys to go down to the comments below and let me know if you want to see a part 2 where I'll reveal 7 millionaire skills or habits that I wish I knew earlier. And maybe break down a full day of how I live my life in order to achieve the current level of financial freedom that I have. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button, smash up the like button for your boy, because I want to keep delivering more bangers just like this. If you found this informative, share it to a friend. Maybe they can find something useful too. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Peace out. I'll see you in a couple days.